I'll introduce the next quarterback of the Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning hit the free agent market back in the 2012 offseason. Several QB-seeking teams rolled out the red carpet for arguably the best passer ever. As we know, the Broncos convinced Manning to sign with Denver once the quarterback had been released by the Colts after missing the 2011 season following neck surgery. The partnership between Peyton and the Mile High City went very well. In 4 seasons, Manning had 2 trips to the Super Bowl, won Super Bowl 50, and set several seasonal and career passing records. While Denver was fortunate that Manning chose to wear the orange and navy blue, the Broncos weren't the only team seeking Peyton, as several clubs, including Arizona, Miami, and even Seattle, planned meetings to persuade Peyton to sign with their franchise. Manning's final decision, however, boiled down to 3 teams: the Broncos, the Titans, and the 49ers. In Tennessee, Manning would be returning home, where his career began with the Volunteers. In Denver, from one GOAT to another, GM John Elway convinced Manning that he would help the passer become the best quarterback ever.
Shut! Open, get open.
However, one interesting scenario would have been if Manning chose to sign with San Fran. With Jim Harbaugh at the helm, arguably the best defense in the league, and Frank Gore in the backfield, could Manning have followed the mold of Joe Montana and Steve Young and brought a championship to the Bay?
And the 49ers will hoist the Lombardi Trophy.
And if Peyton went to San Fran, how would the rest of the NFL look? What's going on, guys? It's Luca Rosano, and today we bring to you, what if Peyton Manning signed with the 49ers?
Adam, what are the details on the contract with Peyton Manning?
Kevin, the two sides reached agreement on a 5-year, $96 million deal, on a deal that was expected to be a formality once Peyton Manning told his agent, Tom Condon, that he wanted to get this deal done with the 49ers.
Here's how we see it playing out. If Manning signs with the 49ers for the 2012 season, San Fran earns the top seed in the conference in the first year of the partnership. The veteran 49ers hold off Seattle in the divisional round and beat Matty Ice in the conference championship. And if you're wondering why Peyton would be the Legion of Boom in this what-if scenario, let's flash back to 2012. Why don't we? When Adele was setting fire to the rain and Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man. The Jim Harbaugh defense of 2012 featured 6 All-Pro members, including Patrick Willis, Justin Smith, and Aldon Smith. While Peyton struggled against the speed-heavy defense of Seattle in Super Bowl 48, the 49ers had a similar defensive style, which Peyton would have practiced against. Manning also would have seen Seattle's defense twice in the regular season and would have been prepared by the postseason. The 49ers with Manning are an improved team from the real-world 2012 Denver Broncos, and they beat Baltimore to win Super Bowl 47. Instead of Denver defensive back Raheem Moore mistiming a last-second deflection on Joe Flacco's Hail Mary,
Caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacoby Jones.
I mean, Raheem Moore, he'll be kicking himself for a long time.
49ers All-Pro defensive back Deshaun Goldston makes sure none of that happens and correctly defends the last-minute bomb. The 49ers join the Steelers as the only franchises with 6 Super Bowl titles. Randy Moss also gets a Super Bowl in his final game. An excellent trivia question to stump your buddies. You guys ready for this one? Moss retired not with the Vikings or Titans. Yes, he played for the Titans.
I did not know that.
But the 49ers. The following season, the 49ers make it back to the big game, and the football world gets a Peyton Brady Super Bowl. It's like having Superman and Batman in the same movie, except it's good. Brady's Pats routinely beat Peyton's Colts early in their careers. However, Peyton's team won the last 3 playoff meetings in this rivalry. And in this what-if scenario, the 49ers front 7, like the Giants defensive line in Super Bowl 42 and 46, are enough to hold off Brady, and San Fran wins Super Bowl 48 to win back-to-back titles. Entering the 2014-15 season, Manning has a record of 3-1 in Super Bowls, Jim Harbaugh has 2 championships, and the 49ers have a league-best 7 titles. However, entering the 3rd season of the Manning era in San Francisco, the curtain begins to close on the Red Glove. Just as in the real-world timeline, age and injury takes a toll on Manning at 38 years old. Navarro Bowman misses the season due to a devastating knee injury. Patrick Willis misses several games, and Aldon Smith does what Aldon Smith does.
Why were you at the police station?
There's no reason.
And the defense is unable to perform at its usual elite level. The 49ers take a step back in the tough NFC and miss the playoffs in 2014. Seattle, with Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom, make their first deep postseason run and reach Super Bowl 49 to meet the Pats, who are still looking for their first Super Bowl since beating Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb, and the Eagles. In the championship, Seattle decides to run the ball in the final seconds of a close matchup and beats New England. Instead of calling the most boneheaded call in NFL history, yes, Marshawn Lynch scores the game-winning touchdown in the final moments of the game. With no Super Bowl ring on his resume in this timeline, Pete Carroll goes with his gut instead of overthinking the situation and wisely runs the ball with Lynch instead of making the worst play call in league history. The next season, the 2015-16 season, with Patrick Willis and Justin Smith retired, the 49ers begin the rebuild process in the middle of the season, which turns out to be Manning's last. With little chance of a postseason return, Manning, who is now throwing too many ducks and picks,
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Prince Amukamara.
is pulled in Week 9 so the potential quarterback of the future can start getting reps. Jimmy Garoppolo. San Fran had drafted Jimmy G in the second round of the 2014 draft after seeing that Manning was breaking down the previous season. Since he earns 2 Super Bowls in San Fran, Manning chooses to retire the following season. Harbaugh, with 2 titles, is given more control in the organization and stays with the 49ers. Les Miles accepts the head coach position of Michigan football. The results of Manning signing with the 49ers drastically shifts the landscape of the NFL. Even though he led San Fran to the NFC Championship the season before, Alex Smith is happily let go by the Niners to make room for Peyton. Losing out on Manning in free agency, the Titans, with an aging Matt Hasselbeck and Jake Locker on the roster, sign Alex Smith to become their starting quarterback. Colin Kaepernick, who was Smith's replacement by week 11 of the real-life 2012 season, is traded 2 seasons into the Manning era of our timeline. With Peyton playing at an elite level in a win-now mode, Kaepernick is traded for draft picks to the Eagles, and Andy Reid, who saves his job in Philadelphia. With defenses yet to catch up to Kaepernick's talents and Reid's ability to get the most out of quarterbacks, the Eagles vault to the top of the conference. In case you didn't know, in the real-world timeline, the Eagles reportedly had set a trade to acquire Kaepernick in 2012, but didn't pull the trigger. In this what-if scenario, they decide to make that trade. Losing out on the Peyton Manning bid, John Elway begrudgingly brings back Tim Tebow for half a season. Yes, half a season. Selecting Geno Smith in that season's NFL draft, the Broncos take a step back, earning them a top 10 pick in the 2014 draft. Knowing the importance of a franchise quarterback and unable to watch Tebow's throwing mechanics any longer,
Tim Tebow's unconventional throwing motion took roughly 0.6 of a second to complete. About 0.2 of a second slower than the average for all the NFL quarterbacks we've analyzed.
Elway seemingly overreaches and selects Derek Carr to be the new face of the Broncos. So there you have it. Peyton and the Niners win 2 more Super Bowls. The Seahawks run the ball. Kaepernick joins Andy Reid's Eagles. And the Broncos settle for Tebow, Geno, and Derek Carr. That's quite a bit to digest, all based off one man's decision to join one NFL team over the other. Do you think Peyton Manning ended up making the right decision by choosing Denver over San Fran? Let us know in the comment section below. We would love to hear what you have to say about the subject. And if you like this video and want to see more from Total Pro Sports, subscribe to our channel because we post great stories like this all the time. We hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys real soon.